All right, guys, here we go with your lesson 1 problem set from module 1. Okay, so this is our first lesson together, and so I just want to give you a couple quick little pointers. Number 1, I'm going to go kind of fast. So the beauty of watching it at home is that if you get behind, you can simply press pause and catch yourself up and then continue to play the video when you're ready. So we'll do the whole problem set together, and you have a packet in your binder that looks just like mine. Problem set is labeled up here, lesson 1 problem set. It is front and back. And then there will be a lesson 1 homework sheet that goes along with it, also front and back. And so we'll do the problem set together. That's what this video is. And then when you're done with this, you're going to go do the homework page all on your own. And this page is kind of like a mirror of this one, so they should be pretty similar. So if you get stuck when you're doing the homework on your own, you can always flip back and refresh yourself by looking at the problem set to see what we did here. So lesson 1 is all about equal groups, okay? So in 3rd grade, the biggest concept that we're going to learn is multiplication, and the whole idea starts with the fact that in order to multiply, you have to have equal groups. And anytime you see those words, equal groups, that means we're going to multiply. So let's get started. Number 1 says, fill in the blanks to make true statements. So I have an image here. It's 3 hands. They each have 5 fingers. So the words here say 3 groups of 5. And anytime we see those words groups of or equal groups, that means we're going to multiply, okay? Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Yeah. There we go. That's a little better. So in order to find out what the total of 3 groups of 5 is, we're going to skip count by 5s. So we have 5, 10, 15. 3 groups of 5 equals 15. So this second line is just another way to write this. So instead of groups of 5, we can call it 3 5s. See, we have 1 5, 2 5s, 3 5s. And I know that the answer is going to be the same because I can skip count them. 5, 10, 15. So 3 5s also equals 15. And then this final line is just taking these words, groups of, and turning it into a number sentence. So we have 3. Groups of means multiply, and then 5. 3 times 5. So we have 3 groups of 5, which is still 5, 10, 15. All right, same thing on part B over here. This time we have bunches of bananas. Looks like there are 3 bananas in each bunch, and there are 5 total groups. So they wrote it as repeated addition here. So we have 3 right there, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. If we want to find the total, we can skip count. This time we're counting by 3. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, and then they rewrote their repeated addition this way on line number 2. So we have 5. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Groups of means multiply. And then they are groups of 3 because there are 3 in each bunch of bananas. So this time we're still counting by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then finally on the third line, they just rewrote this into numerical form. So we have 5. Groups of means multiply. We wrote that right here. 3. So 5 times 3, or 5 groups of 3, is still 15. Notice how the answer is the same on all 3 blanks. That's what we're looking for here. These are just different ways of writing the same information. And part C, I think these are eggs. Looks like cartons of eggs. There are 6 in each group. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 6. And they wrote it first as repeated addition. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. We're going to count by 6s. Are you ready? 6, 12, 18, 24. All right, now they're starting to ask us to fill in some of this information based on what we know from above. So how many groups of 6 do you see? Well, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 6. Remember, groups of means multiply, so keep that in mind for when we get to the 3rd line. What is 4 groups of 6? Well, we figured it out right here already, right? We counted 4 groups of 6 and we found that it was 24. And then on the 3rd line, we're taking this information and we're just rewriting it in numerical form. So we have 4. Remember, multiply means groups of. So 4 groups of, what are they groups of? They're groups of 6. And again, we can just take this information that we already skip counted, we already did the hard work, and we can just plug it in. Now, if you want to go back and double check to be sure that your answer is correct, you may certainly do that by skip counting. 6, 12, 18, 24. And on to part D. Looks like these are lemons, I think. Okay, so how many groups of lemons do you see? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. And what are they groups of? How many are in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4 lemons in each group. So we have 6 groups of 4. So if we were to write that as repeated addition, remember it's repeated addition, which means we're going to take the same number and repeatedly add it to itself. So all of these blanks right here should be 4s. And then when we go back and check, we will have 1 group of 4 for each group of lemons that is pictured. And then to find the total, we can skip count. This time we're counting by 4s because they're groups of 4. Here we go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So 6 groups of 4 equals 24. And that leads us into the second line. So we have 6 groups of, means multiply, 6 groups of what? They are groups of 4. And you just found out that if we repeatedly add 6 groups of 4, we get 24. And then we're going to take that information and take it into the third line here. So we're just taking this and we're rewriting it as a multiplication sentence. So we have 6, remember groups of means multiply. And then we found out that they were groups of 4. So we now have 6 times 4, which again equals 24. On to page 2. Remember, I'm going kind of fast, but if you be a little bit behind, you can just press pause and go back and catch up, and then press play when you're ready to continue. Number 2 on the back, we're starting to get into a little bit more complicated problems here. Sometimes the back page has word problems, okay? So when we do word problems, we're going to work on this process called read, draw, write. So we're going to read the problem, we're going to draw a picture or use the picture if they provide us with one, and then we're going to write. Write means write a number sentence to solve, and also a word sentence if we can. So number 2 says, the picture below shows 2 groups of apples. Here's a group, here's a group. Does the picture below show 2 times 3? Explain why or why not. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is take this numerical sentence that they give us, 2 times 3, and I'm going to rewrite it. Remember that when I see the multiplication symbol, that means groups of. So 2, instead of times, I'm going to write groups of 3. Now look at the picture. Do you have 2 groups? Yes. Okay, so I do have 2 groups, but do you have 2 groups of 3? Here's a group of 3. This one is not a group of 3. So this number sentence does not show this picture because they're not both groups of 3. They're not equal groups. And remember, you can't multiply unless you're talking about equal groups. That's what this whole lesson is about. So does this picture show 2 times 3? No, it does not show equal groups. Now, probably I can write faster than you, so this is a part where you're going to probably want to pause and catch up. But underline that word equal because that's the whole premise of this lesson, equal groups. On to number 3, says draw a picture to show 2 times 3 equals 6. So again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to rewrite it in word form just to help my brain, okay? So 2, and then where the multiplication symbol is, I'm going to write the word groups of. And then they want us to have those 2 groups of 3 equal a total of 6. So I know I need 2 groups, so I'm going to make my groups like this. And then I'm going to put 3 objects in each group. You don't have to get fancy. I just like to use X's because it's simple. So there's a group of 3, and there's a second group of 3. Now I want to go back and double check that what I have drawn does indeed equal 6. So 3 plus 3 more is a total of 6. I can even, yeah. So that picture works. All right, number 4. Caroline, Brian, and Marta want to share a box of chocolates so that they each get the same amount. Equal groups, right? Circle the chocolates below to show 3 groups of 4. So I'm going to take that and rewrite it. 3 groups of 4. Then write addition and multiplication sentences to represent the problem. Well, look, I've already got a start on it right there. So groups of 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is find 4 chocolates and circle them to make a group. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1 group. I need 2 more to equal 3 total groups. So let's find 4 more right there. So that's 2 groups. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a third group. I now have 3 equal groups of 4 chocolates each. They all get the same amount. So I could even label them if I wanted. This group is for Caroline, this group is for Brian, and this group is for Marta. All right, so let's go back and make sure we did everything. Circle to make 3 groups of 4. I did that. Write addition and multiplication sentences to represent the problem. So if I were to write a repeated addition, okay, they're groups of 4, so I'm adding 4 3 times because I have 3 groups. Now let's skip count to find the total. I'm counting by 4s, so I have 4, 8, 12. And then I'm going to take this and write it down under here because it also asked for a multiplication sentence. So really, I have 3 groups of 4, which equals a total of 12. And that is all that it was asking us to do. So use this information to help you on the homework. Please let me know if you have any questions. Good luck!